live on YouTube. Where's the Rumble? Starting us up on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Day in History, aka TDH. This show is about interesting and important events that occurred on this calendar date throughout the recorded annals of history. I'm Xander. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. I think I actually hear him in the hallway. And of course, you, thank you for coming in. Today is Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Let's get into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in the year 250, St. Fabian ended his reign as Pope of the Catholic Church. That he reigned from 236 to 250 because he was martyred during the Decian persecution. Well, that would do it. No. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And you are?
I am the Golden Loon.
The Golden Loon?
Golden Loon.
The old.
Hurt.
1156, according to legend, Finnish freeholder, or a peasant, Lally, slayed English crusader, who was also a clergyman, Bishop of Turku Henry, with an axe on the ice of Lake Koilionjärvi in Finland. All right.
Crazy Finnish.
Yep. Actually, speaking of crazy Finnish, I just, the other night saw Sisu 2, Road to Revenge. I know you don't have any clue what any of that is.
No.
It's a sequel to Sisu, and it's basically like he's a Finnish soldier. Well, he was, and then he went rogue. I don't know, but basically he's John Wick's dad, essentially. Like, not canonically yet, and I'm not even sure if you know who John Wick is.
No.
It's a whole thing. I'm not going to start explaining it to you.
No, that'll be all night, and I'll go, huh?
But basically, one of the scenes is he used a bunch of landmines to flip a tank over a border. Okay, it was absolutely crazy.
Your kind of thing, right?
Oh,
there.
yeah, I love those movies. 1265, the first English Parliament was summoned without royal command, in this instance by Simon de Montfort, Earl of Leicester. It met in Westminster Hall. Oh, and here's a picture of the guy killing the other guy with an axe on the ice. Oh, Santa, no. And here's a photo of that.
Ooh.
Actually, that's something else. Oh, so what is that? Or I guess I don't know what this is. Huh. Okay. Well. Anyway, we have 1401. The Taula de Canvi, or Catalan for Table of Change, described as Europe's first ever public bank, began operations inside Barcelona's Llotja de Mar. I guess that's what that other picture was. It was the interior.
That's a cool building, whatever that was. That rendition was.
Yeah, well, let me.
First bank, huh?
Yeah,
European bank.
This picture here.
Yeah, I like that building. That's really something.
Yeah, I mean, look at the ceiling though.
Yeah. That's old. Whatever that is, that's old.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's a remnant of the Tartarian Empire. 1502, Casa de Contratación, House of Trade, established by the Crown of Castile in the port of Seville to deal with American affairs. All right. And that's what this is, I think.
Oh.
So, has to be. It's a small picture. So.
Yeah.
1513, Christian II succeeded Johann I as Danish and Norwegian king. Danish and Norwegian. Huh. All right. Oh, yeah, and I was also wondering why I highlighted that. Because 1523, just 10 years later, on the button, Christian II was forced to abdicate as king of Denmark and Norway.
Wow.
So.
That's weird.
So the 10-year, exact.
Yeah.
This is when he succeeded him, and this is when he was forced to abdicate. 1567, Battle of Rio de Janeiro. Portuguese forces under the command of Estácio de Sá definitively drove the French out of Rio de Janeiro. And I'm pretty sure it didn't... Oh, yeah.
Rio de Janeiro seems like a really interesting place to go to.
Now, did I read this one? 1502, the present-day location of Rio de Janeiro was first explored? Okay, well, I did. Well, now I did. But, yeah, so... 65 years later, and yeah, I would like to go see Rio de Janeiro, but it's probably not a good place by the slightest. There's a lot of crime, a lot of pickpockets, and Brazil isn't the most stable country right now. The only reason I personally would want to go there, other than, just to see the sights and experience the culture and all that stuff, would be for that giant Jesus statue.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be cool to see.
Up on the mountain.
Yep. 1576, the Mexican city of Leon was founded by order of Viceroy Don Martin Enriquez de Alamanza. All right. 1635, Convention of Goa was signed between Portugal and England, ending their ongoing conflict in Asia and opening Portuguese routes, including China, to English trade. That's pretty big right there.
That's huge.
Yeah. 1648, cornerstone of Amsterdam Town Hall was laid, and that's what this is. This is a picture of Amsterdam Town Hall, but this is when the cornerstone.
Wow. And what year was that again?
Let's see, 1648.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost 400 years ago.
Yeah. 1649, the High Court of Justice for the trial of Charles I began its proceedings, and I don't know why I read that, it wasn't highlighted. 3 centuries ago, 1726, J.S. Bach led the first performance of his cantata, Mein Strophe, Mein Tanan, or My Sighs, My Tears, BVW, or BWV 13, for the second Sunday after Epiphany. All right. 1778, the first American military court-martial trial began in Cambridge, Massachusetts. 1783, the Kingdom of Great Britain signed preliminary articles of peace with the Kingdom of France, setting the stage for the official end of hostilities in the American Revolutionary War later that year. Moving on up to January 20th, 1785, Samuel Ellis advertised to sell Oyster Island, known today as Ellis Island, no takers. And I wonder why it was called Oyster Island. So, let me look that up here really quick. You're going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say probably because there was a lot of oyster farming in there or whatever it was back in the day.
Probably. I think there was. Oyster Island. Whoops. I clicked something. I didn't want to click it. There we go. I remember seeing a video actually about that, now that you mentioned that. It says here... during the restoration of the immigration station on Ellis Island in the 1980s, archaeologists revealed the island's buried past. The first people to utilize the island were Native Americans, of course. Members of the Algonquin-speaking tribes have lived in yada, 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 yada. Oh, yeah, that's right. That island was Native American shucking. Oyster shucking and all that stuff. Something like that.
Yeah.
1705 as well, invading Siamese forces attempted to exploit the political chaos in Vietnam, but were ambushed and annihilated at the Mekong River by the Tay Son in the Battle of Ranch Gam Zoi Moot. And that was all the way back in 1785.
Wow.
Yeah. And let's see here. Nope, it's not showing me the... actually, I wonder... Will it... Oh, there we go. Now it does. Okay, that explains things. 1788, the third and main part of the First Fleet arrived at Botany Bay, beginning the British colonization of Australia. Arthur Phillip decided that Port Jackson is a more suitable location for the colony. And here's a photo of that.
So they bring them in chains?
Well, yeah, the penal colony.
Yeah.
So, and remember what I said the other day, and every now and then I bring it up, is that if it wasn't for the revolution and all that stuff, Australia, as we know it today, wouldn't be the way it is. Because the British, initially they were sending all of their prisoners over here, and then they lost us, they still had to do something, so, and they had just, 50 years, if that, before had confirmed the existence of Terra Australis, which was Australia. So, they're like, oh, send them over there. Moving on up to the 1800s, Napoleon convened the Great Sanhedrin in 1807. A Jewish high court in Paris gave legal sanction to the principles expressed by the Assembly of Notables. All right.
So in theory, the Revolutionary War against the Brits, we were actually just jailbreakers and we broke out.
Essentially. Yeah. Essentially, yeah. Well, I mean, give me liberty or give me death.
Yeah.
1809, the first U.S. geology book published by William McClure. And I believe this is the cover right here. Observations on the geology of the United States of America, William McClure. Yeah. I wonder if Dr. Sheldon Cooper ever read that book. I remember that one time he was reading pretty loudly that one night because he views geology as a lesser science.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1840, Dumont d'Urville discovered Adélie land in Antarctica. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. 1841, China ceded Hong Kong Island to Britain during the First Opium War, and then Britain occupied it. And that's where we have this map right here. So it says green ceded to Britain in 1842, so that's Hong Kong Island, and then red ceded to Britain in 1860, and that's Hong Kong mainland. right here, and then Lease to Britain in 1898. So not ceded, but leased with all this, which is now all of China.
Yeah.
So, 1841, we got that one. 1850, HMS Investigator, headed by Robert McClure, left England. It was the first expedition to make a northwest passage, although some of the journey was over ice. And this is not the only photo of like this that I saw. So I can't imagine why some of it would be over ice, or why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It be over ice? What I meant, because the ship can't move.
Right.
You know, so pretty self-evident.
Kind of stuck.
Yeah. 1869, Elizabeth Cady Stanton became the first woman to testify before U.S. Congress. All right.
Okay. Well, wonder what she was testifying about.
Well, it says here she's a women's rights activist and abolitionist.
Okay.
Abolitionist.
Okay.
Was
Good
it?
for her.
Yeah. What's an abolitionist? Oh, slavery. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. That makes sense. I don't know why. I just couldn't. The word. I was just like. 1872, California Stock Exchange Board organized. And then 2 years later, the Treaty of Pancor was signed between the British and Sultan Abdullah of Perak, paving the way for further British colonization of Malaya. 1883, Billy Barnes took a hat trick, England versus Australia, at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. I had to. A hat trick for cricket. And actually, hat trick, I think the hat trick was invented out of cricket.
Before hockey?
Yes. Actually, hold on a second. I think we discovered that. Well, origin of hat trick. Hat trick. Origin. The term first appeared in 1858 in cricket. Aha! To describe H.H. Stevenson taking 3 wickets with 3 consecutive deliveries. Fan held a collection for Stevenson and presented him with a hat bought with the proceeds. So that's a hat trick. Did a trick, and people gathered money and bought you a hat.
Bought him a hat.
Yeah, and it started with cricket. So every time you see a hat trick, you have to think of cricket.
Wow.
Forever. 1905, U.S. began supervising, actually before that, 1887, U.S. Senate approved and allowed the Navy to lease Pearl Harbor as a naval base. Yeah. Now, 1905, U.S. began supervising the Dominican Republic's national and international debts, testing President Theodore Roosevelt's corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. And the Monroe Doctrine basically says the entire western half of the world is under U.S. jurisdiction.
Western Hemisphere, yeah. Our territory.
I don't, that's too much. I see where it's going, but we cannot lay claim to half of the planet.
We don't
That's
lay
ridiculous.
claim to it.
We do. Jurisdiction is claim. It's responsibility. It's ownership. 1909, newly formed automaker General Motors, aka Government Motors, aka GM, bought into the Oakland Motor Car Company, which later became GM's long-running Pontiac division. Yeah. Moving on to 1920.
So Pontiac came out of California.
Apparently, yeah. 1920, Russian Imperial Navy Admiral Alexander Kolchak, leader of anti-communist white movement, surrendered to Bolshevik troops. Well, now it makes sense why the communists are always after us whites. 1920 as well, the American Civil Liberties Union was formed, or founded, I guess. And 1 year after that, British K-class submarine HMS K5, which was unusually equipped with steam turbines, sunk with 57 crew during exercises in the Bay of Biscay, English Channel.
Whoa.
Well, think about it. Steam turbines.
Yeah.
Well, you need, something to vent the excess pressure.
We also got to make the steam.
Well, yes, but you have the water, inside the thing. You cannot make steam with salt water. I mean, you can, but it takes a much higher boiling point.
Well,
no, that's why we put salt in the water to make pasta, is to make the water even hotter, because salt water boils at a higher temperature than fresh.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
okay. That's
why they put salt in to add sodium into the water, makes it boil hotter, and then makes the noodles cook in that certain way. Without the salt, they would cook drastically different. So you can't just pull in salt water as a summer. You have to have fresh water.
So you add salt when you cook noodles?
Just straight up pasta, not the raviolis, But the boxes from the pantry, I add
pasta,
salt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh. But like, with steam engines, you need to have, some kind of vent or something, because you will inevitably.
Of course.
Well, you can't really have a vent in a submarine.
No.
So there was probably some kind of malfunction. Moving on to 1921, Republic of Turkey was declared for the remnants of the Ottoman Empire with the adoption of its first constitution. Fundamental changes were made in the source and exercise of sovereignty by consecrating the principle of national sovereignty. And I actually wanted to image search this really quick because there was a pretty interesting map that came up that I want to show you. So let's see here. Where was it? It was this one here. So, open image for new tab. There we go. So, all of this was all the Ottoman Empire. Or at least, their allies or something.
Yeah,
but,
under their control.
Yeah, but you have Turkey over here, and then you have on all of this. This is all after, or something. I'm not sure if this is conquest or division or something, but we have Libya right here. This is Egypt, obviously. Iraq. Yeah, this is definitely in another language because Alexandria is called Turkish or something down over there. So I just brought it up to show the boundaries.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting stuff right there. What else do we got here? 1929, the first feature talking motion picture taken outdoors in old Arizona was released.
Old Arizona.
Yeah.
Is there a new Arizona?
I don't know, but there is a New Mexico. I wanted to bring this up. Really old film poster.
Talking.
Yeah, as in, like microphones and technology and such until this time was not good enough to single your voice out or to pick you up without too much background interference.
Well, you get all the background.
And or also because you're in open space, it doesn't pick up anything. But yeah, I just wanted to show this, really cool old movie poster. And another one right here in old Arizona.
Does he have his hand on her boob?
It looks like it.
No, a little bit under, okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
I just when you just clicked it off.
Yeah.
I just caught my glimpse.
At the same time, now that I'm looking at it, she doesn't look too happy. He looks a little too happy. And the way he's gripping her is a little questionable. And she's just like, get off of me. So, I don't know. This is starting to look a little suspect. What else do we got here? 1900. Go away. 1930, we have the first radio broadcast of the Lone Ranger on WXYZ Detroit.
A big Lone Ranger fan as a little kid.
Hi-Ho Silver?
Yeah. On TV, though, of course.
Yeah. Well, Mom probably heard it on the radio.
Probably.
Yeah, she grew up with that. 1936, Edward the Eighth succeeded British King George V. All right. And 1937, Franklin D. Roosevelt and John Nance Garner were sworn in for their second terms as U.S. President and U.S. Vice President. This was the first time a presidential inauguration took place on January 20th, since the 20th Amendment changed the date of presidential terms, the previous date being March 4th. Yeah.
March 4th, wow.
Yeah.
And it's the 20th now.
Yeah.
Up until currently.
Yeah. No, we're going to be going over a lot of inaugurations. 1941, Chinese communist leaders reorganized the new Fourth Army in defiance of nationalist leader Chiang Kai-shek's order for it to be disbanded. And we went over this yesterday, and actually the day before or the day before that, there's a third article in this situation. There is something to do with the Chinese Communist Army or whatever, because under Chiang Kai-shek, the commies were under his control, apparently. Like, they didn't split off.
It's a revolution. They ran him out. They ran him to, what do you call it, the island over there.
Yeah, Taiwan. But that was, this is 1941. And, the communist revolution was like 1922 or something. That was under Mao Zedong. But I'm just like, how...
No, the communists took over after World War II.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, Chiang Kai-shek... The enemy of the communists had authority over the communists, according to this.
Yes.
Okay. And
he had authority over the entire Chinese country.
Okay, what I'm saying is, okay, so the Chinese Communist Party, that was in like the 1920s, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Correct?
I don't know their history that well, but it had to be formed by then, I would think.
Okay.
It had to be a Communist Party, yes.
Okay, hold on a second. When was the Chinese Communist Revolution?
Revolution's different.
It began in 1927. The Chinese Communist Revolution was a social and political revolution in mainland China that began in 1927 and culminated with the proclamation of the People's Republic of China in 1949.
Okay.
Now, what I am saying is if the communists are opposed to Chiang Kai-shek,
which they are,
why does he have command over them?
Because he has the guns. It's like a revolution within the country, but it hasn't.
I don't think
succeeded
I'm
yet.
fully explaining myself here. Okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's just keep on going. I'm not making any headway with this. 1941, German officer was killed in Bucharest, Romania, sparking a rebellion and pogrom by the Iron Guard, causing the deaths of 125 Jews and 30 soldiers. 1942, Nazis officials. This one's the worst of the worst. Nazi officials hold the notorious Wannsee Conference in Berlin to coordinate the final solution, the extermination of Europe's Jews. Now, this is 1942. Remember, for the past 10, 15 years, they had been taking things away. The Jews cannot have this, Jews cannot have that. So it wasn't like...
They have to wear a star.
Yeah, they had to wear a star. It wasn't like, oh, it's Holocaust time. No, it took 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And then nowadays, as I've been saying, I know exactly how it felt to be a Jew in 1930s Germany because, as a straight, as a white, as a conservative affiliated Christian adjacent male, especially in California, I know exactly how they feel. Because all the stuff that they went through leading up to the attempt to exterminate them, we're going through right now. I can't get a job. I can't get this. I can't volunteer for that. Exact same thing that they did to the Jews. We're living it right now. And, to expedite your point, you brought up the whole thing about the star.
Yeah.
Remember when they were trying to pass a whole thing mandating people who didn't have the vaccine to wear some kind of marking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well.
Oh.
I screamed about that. I said,
what did I just say? Exact same thing.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We are living it.
Yeah, but that didn't work. I mean,
Well, it didn't work because it already happened before. We can, hey, look what the Germans did. So, it didn't work because we pay attention to history. But it almost did. And that's what's scary. And they're still trying to push it.
As
they're still going.
The government was able to shut down the entire country.
Mm-hmm.
How's that possible? That's crap.
It's only possible because everybody allowed it to happen. See, the government only has power if we allow it to. If the government says jump and nobody jumps, the government doesn't have any power. We, the people, give it the power. We, the people, comply with their orders. If we don't comply, then they're useless. We need to stop. 1925, Franklin D. Roosevelt was sworn in for an unprecedented and never to be repeated, hopefully, fourth term as president.
No, can't do that.
Yeah.
It's in the Constitution now.
Well, Trump is trying to do that whole, non-consecutive, thing. Remember?
He's just pulling people's chain.
Well, people thought that about Greenland and Canada, and look at what's going on. I don't think so. 1945, the Hungarian Provisional Government of Bela Miklos concluded an armistice with the Allies, USSR and Britain, US and Britain, to agree to pay reparations and to join the war against Germany. So Hungary's on our side now. 1945 as well, during World War II, Germany began the evacuation of 1.8 million people from East Prussia, a task which will nearly take 2 months. Wow. 1947, Nova Scotia Supreme Court ruled against case of black woman Viola Desmond, ejected from a cinema seat in New Glasgow, reserved for whites, and arrested in a landmark case. Later pardoned in 2010, thank God. Yeah. But, how awful. 1949, the first inaugural parade televised for Harry Truman, watched by 10 million people. So inauguration for, parade for inauguration president.
Yeah, they have a parade down whatever street they go down.
Yeah. 1949 as well, J. Edgar Hoover gave Shirley Temple a tear gas fountain pen. Now, apparently, J. Edgar Hoover was also a cross-dresser, but the reason being why he gave Shirley Temple a tear gas fountain pen. Now, keep in mind, at this time, actually, let me see. Shirley Temple was born in, where is it? 1928, and this was 1949. So she was
19 years old.
19 years. So she wasn't a little girl anymore, but still, she was 19. So
what was the reason for the tear gas?
The reason was she was receiving death threats because she had appeared on screen dancing with a black man, him being Bojangles.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
People hold grudges.
At 19, she was way younger than that. I mean, she was 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that.
That's what Sohan told me, and I strongly believe it, because people will hold grudges, especially people who hate.
Okay.
And like I also wanted to show a picture here that was kind of disturbing a little bit, just really quick, because I was looking up pictures for the thumbnail and all that stuff, and why is he kissing a little girl on the mouth?
I don't know.
That's gross. That's really, really gross. And you can see he's uncomfortable. So, I just wanted to bring that up. 1949, U.S. President Harry Truman announced his 4-point program during his inaugural address for a full term as president, a program for economic aid to poor countries. All right. 1952, the NBA's first superstar, George McCann, scored a career-high 61 points, leading the Minneapolis Lakers to a 91-81 double overtime victory over the Rochester Royals.
Yeah, he was a Laker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the first superstar of the Lakers.
Well, do you want to tell our audience why the Lakers are called the Lakers?
Well, that tells you Minneapolis, Minnesota, whatever it is. Lakers, there's all those lakes up there. Well, they moved here and brought the name with them.
Yeah.
On the edge of the desert.
Yeah.
They're the Lakers on the edge of the desert.
Yep. I guess they're the Salt Lakers now. 1953, the first U.S. telecast transmitted to Canada from Buffalo, New York. That's pretty cool. We also have U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower delivered the first live U.S. coast-to-coast inauguration address. Yeah. 1954, in the U.S., the National Black Network was established with 40 charter member radio stations. And it's a shame that I, as a white man, am not allowed to say this word, despite it meaning black in another language. I find that personally racist and prejudiced and xenophobic and problematic against me, but nobody cares about whites. 1958, a group attempting the first surface crossing of Antarctic joined up at the South Pole. All right. And I brought that up because National Negro Network, Triple N. That's pretty cool. The Triple N.
Yeah.
So, and I said it anyway. What are you going to do? 1961, Democrat John F. Kennedy, the youngest elected president of the United States, and also the first Roman Catholic, which was a big deal at the time.
Oh, huge.
Was administered his oath of office at his inauguration by Supreme Court Chief Justice Earl Warren. Robert Frost recited "Gift" outright. Now, I have evidence here, apparently, that JFK was not the youngest president, according to this. So let me bring this up here. List of presidents by age. Let's see here. Age at start of presidency. It says here Theodore Roosevelt at 42 years, 322 days, and John F. Kennedy at 43 years, 236 days.
Okay, so they're wrong.
Yeah, but it's a misnomer. My entire life, I remember all the way back in elementary school to Los Molinos being taught JFK was the youngest president elected.
Man, I've never taught that. Well, no, I wouldn't. He wasn't president until I was a senior.
That would have been the future for you.
Junior in high school.
But that's wild. There's a massive.
That's lousy.
There's a massive, like they're teaching that as fact.
Yeah.
So that discrepancy needs to be.
So who was it again?
Theodore Roosevelt.
And he served in the 40s, right?
In 1850. No, that's his birth. He served. No, Teddy Roosevelt, not FDR.
Oh, okay.
Theodore, not Franklin.
Okay.
Roosevelt served in the early 1900s, 1901 through 1909.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You remember Night at the Museum?
Yeah.
Remember Robin Williams' character on the horse?
Vaguely.
That's Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Not
yeah,
Franklin
okay,
Delano
yeah,
Roosevelt, the cripple. Theodore Roosevelt, the Rough Rider.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and he was younger than JFK. 1964, Capitol Records released Meet the Beatles album by the Beatles in the U.S. 1 year later, General Francisco Franco met with Jewish representatives to discuss legitimizing Jewish communities in Spain. So, it's a little odd. 65, the Byrds recorded Mr. Tambourine Man.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I want to, show something. I wanted to hear the song because it sounded interesting.
You haven't heard the song before?
Well, I did, and I have now because I saw this earlier before the show went live.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine.
But I want to show something. Live at the Newport Folk Festival, 1964.
Okay.
How could it be live in 1964 when they didn't record it until 1965?
Good point.
Yeah.
It seems to me it should have been 64 when it was recorded. I don't. Oh, maybe they. Well, no.
I mean, maybe they never recorded it until then. But it says right here, 1965, the Byrds record Mr. Tambourine Man. According to this, now this is a YouTube video, so they could have very easily, a lot more likely fumbled.
When did the Byrds record Mr. Tambourine Man?
That's a good point. When did the Byrds record Mr. Tambourine Man? 1965. By Bob Dylan.
Oh.
But no. They're both 65. So
okay.
the question is still.
But why would they have Bob Dylan up there when he asked for when the Byrds recorded it?
Well, it says it was sung by Bob Dylan.
But the Byrds recorded it too.
Huh. Yeah, well, this just says Mr. Tambourine Man, 1965 song by Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
It says it's a song written by Bob Dylan, released as the first track of the acoustic side of his March 1965 album, Bringing It All Back Home. So wait a minute, the Byrds are... what is going on here?
I don't know if the Byrds recorded it or not.
Well, then they're straight up trying to change history here.
Well, they've got something screwed up.
Well, at this point, I'm convinced that our sources are actively trying to alter history.
Okay, why don't you put in, just for hee-haws, we're taking too much time, I know. Did the Byrds record Mr. Tambourine Man?
Did the Byrds record Mr. Did the Byrds record Mr. Tambourine Man? It's coming up the same thing.
So
Mr. Tambourine Man. The Byrds' version was released in April 1965 as their first single on Columbia Records.
Okay, so they did record
They did record it, but it's a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we went down the rabbit hole.
Well, we at least found out.
Yeah.
But it's 65.
Yeah. 1965 as well, the U.S. Jet Propulsion Laboratory proposed modified Apollo flight to fly around Mars and return. 1967, Philadelphia 76ers center Wilt Chamberlain made all 15 of his field goal attempts in a 119-108 win over LA Lakers. NBA record for consecutive shots made, beat mark twice before 1966-67 season ends. And in 68, Houston Cougars defeated UCLA Bruins 71-69 to win basketball's game of the century and end UCLA's 47-game winning streak.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
They played that game down at Houston Astrodome. Yeah, that's a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, they had this basketball in the middle of nowhere. Like, it was weird. But they did beat them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, also Kareem had an eye.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah, he had an eye problem.
Oh.
Someone stuck a finger in his eye the game before.
Oh, that explains why he always wore goggles after that.
Yeah, he always wore goggles.
That's smart.
Now, what they don't tell you is these exact two teams, ended up playing each other in the March Madness, the tournament.
Okay.
And, of course, UCLA creamed them.
Yeah.
Elvin Hayes for the Houston... whatever they're called, Cougars or whatever.
1969, Richard "I am not a crook" Nixon was inaugurated as the 37th U.S. president. Completing his political comeback, he had served as vice president from 53 to 61 and in Congress before that from 47 to 53, before losing races for president in 1960 and for California governor in 1962. I wish they had put that chronologically.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. Former Maryland Governor Spiro Agnew was sworn in as vice president.
God, that guy was a bucket of you-know-what.
Well, I'm sure that...
He actually, I think, went to jail or something after...
I think so.
After the run. He did something, or he got disbarred or something.
Probably. But, like, there's one... oh, I think this might be it here. You're probably going to enjoy how Futurama portrayed Agnew here.
Oh, no? Well, listen here, Missy. Computers may be twice as fast as they were in 19...
Two videos were playing at the same time.
Agnew, give it your stamp of approval.
He's basically just a robot without a head that just growls. That's Agnew in Futurama. 1969 as well, University of Arizona reported first optical identification of a pulsar found in Crab Nebula. Pulsars are scary. Magnetars are scarier. 1970, the Super Fight, a computer mock championship boxing bout between Muhammad Ali and Rocky Marciano. Marciano won with a 13th round knockout. They didn't actually fight each other. This was computer, zero ones.
Yeah, no, they
were. Oh, yeah, Rocky Marciano was very much before that.
Oh, yeah, wait.
Okay. 71 as well, Tamla Records released Marvin Gaye's single, What's Going On? About police brutality from the album of the same name. 72, number of people out of work and claiming unemployment benefit in UK raised to over 1 million. And those are the people, you know, that are, you know, like, trying to get, like, you know, like, so somebody like me wouldn't even be on that list. I'm not trying to get a free handout. I want a job, you know. 1972, Pakistan launched its nuclear weapons program a few weeks after its defeats in the Bangladesh Liberation War, as well as the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971. 73, Richard Nixon's second inauguration as President of the United States took place in Washington, D.C. Flags were flown at half-mast in mourning of former President Harry Truman. Yep. That's
weird.
Huh. 1973, right? Yeah, right here.
Yeah, well, Truman wasn't... So they're making it sound like he was his successor, which he wasn't.
Yeah, because Truman was president at the end and after World War II.
Yeah.
He's the one who dropped the bombs or authorized them.
Yeah.
You know? That's really weird. Well, I guess he must have died recently. And
maybe
that's why.
He did. Maybe that's
that
it.
has to be, you know, that's the only thing that makes sense.
That could be it.
You know what? Let me look this up here. Harry Truman death.
It's got to be.
Let's see here. He died January 20th. Actually, no, wait a minute. This says he was in office until January 20th, 1953. Okay, but when did he die? April of 1945. And this was 73.
He didn't die in April of 45.
Wait, that's... Okay. Fucking... Tell me where he died. I'm getting all these dates. Vice President in office. No. Tell me when he died. There we go. December 26th, 1972. Okay. And this is 73.
January.
So this...
month.
Yeah. Okay. Finally.
Okay.
God, I have to dig.
That made sense. Yeah, that was... You ask these questions and you got to go through all this crap to find the answer.
Yeah.
You know, just give me the answer. One line.
I literally wrote down Harry Truman death.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in office. I don't care. My question wasn't about in office. My question is about when did he die? 1973, Amilcar Cabral, leader of the independence movement in Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, was assassinated in Conakry, Guinea.
That's sad, but Guinea-Bissau?
Guinea-Bissau.
Bissau? That's a name?
Somewhere about Guinea. Yeah, Guinea-Bissau. Okay. It's a nation. Guinea-Bissau, a country in West Africa.
A weird name.
There's a lot of this. Here we go. Let me bigger this really quick.
There it is.
That little thing right there.
Yeah.
That's Guinea-Bissau. Oh. 1974, Essex Com College beat Inglewood Cliffs 210 to 67 in basketball.
Who was that?
Essex
High school or something?
Essex Com College.
Oh.
So it's college. And it says Inglewood. Weren't you in Inglewood? Like, no.
Well, there's a lot of Inglewoods.
Okay. 74 as well, China gained control over all the partial islands after a military engagement between the naval forces of China and South Vietnam. 1977, George H.W. Bush ended his term as the 11th director of CIA, replaced by E. Henry Koch as acting director. I put that in there because, people need to realize that, presidents aren't elected, they're selected. He was part of the system, so he was, probably be next in line or something at some point.
He's also vice president, too.
Yeah.
Before he was president.
Yeah. But he was also the deputy, or the director of the CIA.
I understand that, yeah.
There should be a law preventing people, who've already served such high positions in government to no longer serve other positions in government.
Why?
Because now you're just,
I go for term limits for everything. But
No. What I'm saying is, even though you're just moving the person around, but you're allowing him free reign to exercise his power, he's just switching hats. No more career politicians. Get him out.
No, you ain't getting me on board with that one.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. 1978, Columbia Pictures paid $9.5 million for movie rights to Annie.
Huh.
Yeah. And 1 year after that, 1 million Iranians marched in Tehran in a show of support for the exiled Ayatollah Khomeini, fundamentalist Muslim leader.
That's when the Shah fell.
Yeah. 1980, U.S. President Jimmy Carter announced a U.S. boycott of the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow after the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan.
Idiot.
Yep. 1981. What?
Olympics should be void of political beliefs. They happen, you go. That's a moment in time where you just play sports.
Well,
so that's what I believe.
I'll say tell that to Palestine, but then again, they were getting squeezed out of existence. So,
what does that have to do with the Olympics?
Munich.
But they took Israelis. They weren't squeezed out of the Olympics.
Well, no, but they're getting squeezed out of existence.
Okay, well that's a different deal than the Olympics.
But it happened in the Olympics.
What do you mean it happened?
The Munich massacre?
Yeah, they killed a bunch of Israelis.
During the Olympics.
They weren't in the Olympics.
Yes, they were.
Well, if they were, these weren't part of the people in the Olympics.
Yes,
don't know
it was the team. Huh? It was the Israel team that got killed.
Yeah.
During the Olympics.
During the Olympics, right.
Yes.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is, because you're saying separate politics from Olympics and everything. The Palestinian team attacked the Israel team.
No, it wasn't the Palestinian team. It was radical Palestinians that captured the Israelis.
Anyway, 1981, Ronald Reagan was inaugurated as the 40th president of the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And 20 minutes after that article, the 52 U.S. diplomats and citizens held hostage at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran were released and began their journey home after 444 days in captivity. 1982, heavy metal musician, and I find this hilarious. Like, it says here, 1982, heavy metal musician Ozzy Osbourne allegedly bit the head off a bat on stage in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
Don't they have it on camera? I mean, I have a photo of it right here. And he said it was supposed to be a prop bat, but somebody got him a real bat. But it's not alleged. He straight up decapitated a bat. A live bat. On stage.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know. I know all of it.
So what's with this allegedly crap? Stupid. 1983, U.S. gangster Roy DeMeo was found murdered in his car trunk after disappearing a few days earlier. Well, they found him.
They did.
2 years later, a cold front struck the U.S. At least 40 people died. It was negative 27 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 33 Celsius in Chicago.
Okay.
That's cold.
Wow.
1986, the first U.S. federal holiday honoring Martin Luther King Jr. or MLK Day. Yeah. And, now that the way this is written, it sounds like MLK Day was the first ever federal holiday the U.S. ever made, which I don't think is true.
No. Have you heard of the 4th of July? Have you heard of Labor Day?
Yeah, exactly. But the way this is written, and I think they're going like, we have to give everything to blacks, blah blah blah. All this woke crap.
Well, actually,
from our other source, it says here in the United States, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was celebrated as a federal holiday for the first time. So that's written more accurately. The way this is written, it's trying to make it seem like he's above God or something. just because of certain things. 1986, the Channel was announced. Do you know what the Channel is?
No idea.
You should know what the Channel is.
Why should I?
Because you've been there.
Ah.
The Channel Tunnel. English Channel.
Oh, I didn't know it was called the Channel.
The Channel. The Channel Tunnel. Channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been through it, yes.
Yeah.
And under it.
Yeah. You've been under the Channel?
No, under the river.
Yeah. 1987, UK police crackdown on soccer hooligans in biggest operation against violence amid football stadiums. Or around football stadiums. 1989, George H.W. Bush was inaugurated as 41st U.S. President. Dan Quayle became the 44th Vice President.
There's another great one.
Yeah.
Dan Quayle. Good.
Now, what was it that George Carlin said? People are either full of shit,
I forget what it is. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
something, or fucking nuts. And Dan Quayle's all three.
That's right.
Something.
That's right.
1989, Pittsburgh center Mario Lemieux became just the second player in NHL history to score 50 goals in less than 50 games. Number 50 and 44th game as the Penguins lost 7-3 to the Jets in Winnipeg. And while that was going on, Reagan became the first president elected in a 0 year since 1840 to leave office alive.
Oh!
Wow.
No kidding.
Wow. 1990, Black January crackdown on Azerbaijani pro-independence demonstrations / protests by Soviet army in Baku.
You know, this is what's screwy. Reading that Reagan thing, he did get shot and almost die.
Yeah. Yeah, he got shot out here.
Yeah.
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 Well, we saw that movie.
Yeah.
And actually, man, dude, like, you know, as someone who's, like, you know, interested in cinematography, and I've dabbled in everything, that opening shot where, like, you know, like, because the way the camera panned, you know, and everything, and you see, like, you know, and it goes into the lens of the guy with the camera, and then all of a sudden we go from outside looking in to inside looking out, and then we're seeing what he's recording, and that's when you remember that opening scene?
I'm having a hard time seeing it the way you're explaining
The way it was shot was phenomenal. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Again, movie opening shot. Let's see here. Oh wait, no, that's a whole movie and everything. Whoops, wrong. Dang it! Come on. There we go.
That's when he was shot in the car there.
Rawhide Down. This is something
that's
else.
Something else.
Yeah. No, this is it's not the. It's not the recent movie. It's trying to bring up a movie that he was in, not a movie about him. I was getting confused. Anyway, go, you know, anybody watching, go out and watch the Reagan movie. Like, you know, that opening scene is awesome. I'll try to find it for you some other point here. But yeah, this article that I just read was part of the dissolution of the Soviet Union. So.
Yeah.
1991, Sudan's government imposed Islamic law nationwide, worsening the civil war between the country's Muslim north and Christian south. 1991, U.S. Patriot missiles began shooting down Iraqi missiles. Okay. In 91 as well, AFC Championship, Rich Stadium. Actually, no, I don't need to worry about that. Why am I reading that? 1992, Score began selling international soccer cards. I don't know what that is.
No idea.
93, Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was inaugurated as the 42nd U.S. president. Have you seen a picture of Bill Clinton recently?
It's pretty old.
Oh my God, he looks like the Crypt Keeper. Like I
have seen pictures of him, or
it's horrifying.
Little tapes or everything. Well, it won't
Bill
surprise me
Clinton
because I have seen.
I mean, no, none of these are the pictures that I saw. I mean, like he was all bald and everything.
Okay, well, I haven't seen him bald.
Hold on a second.
Over there, a red one, he looks pretty old, right there.
Yeah.
Red shirt.
No, it was worse than that. Hold on a second. Bill
He's not
Clinton.
bald that I've seen.
2025. Let's see if I can find it. Well, I guess then the picture was. I guess it was just a meme then, but it was like some really decrepit old guy sitting in a wheelchair.
No.
I mean, like, you know, I thought it was real because anyone who's been with Hillary and is still alive would definitely look like that. 1993, Maya Angelou was the first black Stadian woman to recite a poem at the inauguration of a U.S. president on the pulse of mourning for Bill Clinton. All right. 1995, the Russian ruble dropped to 3,947 per dollar. That's a record.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not good. 46, WPAT FM New York City radio station switched to English-Spanish formats. 1 year after that, the comet Hale-Bopp crossed Mars' orbit. And I'm fairly certain that that's the comet we saw when I remember one of the times we were down in Mexico, we saw a comet, and it wasn't Halley, it was Hale-Bopp. There's Halley's Comet, and then there's Hale-Bopp. There's two different things.
Okay, I didn't know that, so that's probably what we did see.
Yeah, well, because I remember you saying it was Halley's Comet.
Yeah.
Well, Halley's Comet, Hale-Bopp.
Yeah.
So you probably got that confused, you know? But that's about the right time, 97.
Danced across the sky doing bebop.
Slop bop a doo bop flop bop bop tutti frutti on Rudy. 1998, Dawson's Creek, created by Kevin Williamson, starring James Van Der Beek, Katie Holmes, and Joshua Jackson, premiered on WB in the U.S.
I never saw that.
Dawson's Creek, yeah, I've heard about it. So, I don't want to wait for my life to be over. I think that's the theme song to it. I don't know.
You're killing me. Move on quick. My ears hurt.
999. My eyes hurt. The China News Service announced new government restrictions on internet use aimed especially at internet cafes. Moving on up into the next millennium, 8 minutes left to go until the hour, and we are in our home stretch here. 2001, George W. Bush was inaugurated as the 43rd U.S. president. Dick Cheney became 46th vice president.
Another great one.
Yeah, Mr. Shoot his friend in the face with birdshot.
I always thought it was the ass.
No, it was a face. 2001, President of the Philippines, Joseph Estrada, was ousted in the nonviolent 4-day-long ESDA-2 revolution and succeeded by Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Now, he was the husband of the shoe woman, right? Or is that something else?
She was.
Estrada.
That isn't the right name, though.
Joseph Estrada is the husband, is the man.
No.
So, but wasn't the first lady like the shoe thing? It was Estrada.
No.
Or was it this person?
Who?
Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
No. If you said the name, I'd know it immediately.
Hold on a second. Philippine
shoe lady. I don't know.
Scandal. Philippine shoe scandal. Oh, Amelia Marcos.
There you go.
Okay.
Marcos. Yeah.
Okay. 2001 as well, U.S. President Bill Clinton issued 140 executive pardons on his last day in office. Recipients included Mark Reek, Susan McDowell, Patty Hearst, and his brother Roger. That's a little suspicious. Didn't Brandon do that? On his last day, did a whole bunch of preemptive pardons too? What the hell is a preemptive pardon?
I know.
You know?
Well, he pardoned his son for anything between 10, 20 years or something.
You know, you want.
How can you do that?
How else can you just plaster I'm guilty? You know.
I thought you had to pardon someone for something they were done or convicted of. I guess.
Yeah.
Not something that may happen.
Yeah, that's so bullcrap. 2002, photographs showing Al Qaeda and Taliban suspects shackled and masked were published by the U.S. military. This was during the whole thing with Guantanamo Bay, the carrot patch. You know, the whole carrot patch scandal and all that stuff?
I don't recall it, no.
They were doing all sorts of horrible things to these alleged terrorists or whatever.
Like waterboarding.
Yeah, well, see, the problem with Guantanamo Bay is they, there was no habeas corpus, there was no innocent until proven guilty. They were going around and just grabbing anybody who looked Islamic and just putting them over there. No trial, no nothing. You're brown, you went over there. You know?
Sounds like a stretch to me.
That was happening.
Okay.
That was happening. 2008, Breaking Bad, created by Vince Gilligan and starring Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, premiered on AMC. While that was going on, Frenchman Francois Joyen became the fastest person to sail solo around the world, taking 57 days, 13 hours, and 34 minutes. Dang.
How do you do that?
Well, I don't know. Ask him.
Yeah.
He's the one who did it. I don't know how you do it. 2009, Barack Hussein Obama was inaugurated as the 44th President of the United States, becoming the first half-black stadian. He's not black. He's not white. He's not black. He's a mix. To hold the office, Joe Biden became the 47th Vice President. In 2013, Austria voted to maintain compulsory military service in a referendum. Okay. In 2014, credit cards of at least 20 million South Koreans were hacked. That's not good.
Whoa.
Now, nowadays, that stuff happens every other day. But back then, it actually meant something. 2017, Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 45th president of the U.S., and Mike Pence was the 48th VP. All right. Then we have 2021, Brandon was inaugurated as the 46th president, whatever. Oldest person ever inaugurated at the time. And Kamala Harris as the 49th vice president, the first female and non-white, black, or South Asian vice. Who the fuck cares what her skin color is? Why do they, these leftists are so infatuated with surface level bullshit that has no meaning. But they're like, oh, the first non-white, like the first female, black or South, yada yada. I don't know. And then also he signed 15 executive orders on his first day in office, including U.S. rejoining the World Health Organization, affirming the Paris Climate Agreement, revoking the Keystone XL pipeline, mandating masks on federal properties, and halting construction of the southern border wall. How much more can you do to just flush this country down the drain?
Got all that crap.
Yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. 2022, 19-year-old aviator Zara Rutherford became the youngest woman to fly solo around the world, landing at Courgette-Wevelgem Airport, Belgium. Now that is very interesting. We have on the same calendar date, just several years apart, but same exact date. Yeah. We have the fastest
single person around the world
on a sailboat.
Yeah.
And then was this the fastest or the first? The youngest. The youngest woman to fly solo around the world. But still, that's pretty remarkable. 1924, large weekend protests began across Germany against quote-unquote far-right Alternative for Germany, AFD, after groups' master plan for mass deportation of migrants was revealed. They should have been hailed. Get all these illegals the hell out of there.
Europe's paying for all that now, big time.
Well, Europe is just now an extension of Palestine. Which was the whole plan. I mean, what were those people going to do? They're getting ousted. If they weren't all going to get killed, they'd have to go live somewhere. Israel's taking over the land, so what are they going to do? 2025, Chinese startup DeepSeek launched the AI model R1 with capabilities similar to other AI models, but at a fraction of the cost, prompting experts to call it a Sputnik moment. That's an incredible thing to say right there. And we have just last year, what the hell? This is new. Okay. Just last year, Republican Donald Trump was inaugurated as 47th President of the United States of America, and J.D. Vance as the 50th Vice President. Trump is the oldest person to have taken office now and joins Grover Cleveland as only the second elected to non-consecutive White House terms. The event is held indoors due to inclement weather. Yeah, it was very cold.
Yeah.
So. And we also have on the first day of his return to office, Donald Trump issued pardons to over 1,500 of his supporters charged in connection with the attack of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, declared a national emergency at the southern border, absolutely that is, and withdrew the U.S. from the World Health Organization and the Paris Agreement on climate change. I have got to cheer that. We also have U.S. President Trump issued an executive order halting all foreign aid programs for 90 days with some exceptions for humanitarian aid. And then he also issued an executive order for federal agencies to slash diversity, equity, and inclusion, aka DEI, aka affirmative action, aka didn't earn it, initiatives throughout the federal government. So
all those programs, yeah.
Yep. And this was added in just, this is right here. Remember how I always say, they change it overnight and everything? So you see here, this was the last article I have,
right?
But it's up here. So since last night, since I worked on this last night, they added this. And this is this year, 2026. So this is news, not history.
Yeah.
We have the fourth shark attack in New South Wales, Australia, in less than 48 hours. 3 adults and 1 child were injured.
So why are they putting news in there?
Well, because it just happened. I don't know. Okay. But for whatever reason, they deemed it appropriate.
They should have said this day in news then, not this day in history.
Well, there have been some examples of things that occurred, today. you know, in the past. And there are some examples of things that's happened in the future because they do a little tongue-in-cheek stuff for Star Trek.
We either do it today or it's a year later.
But see, but this is what I'm talking about. They said they have edited this in the past 12 hours, 20 hours. So, yeah. But anyway, that shall conclude the show. Please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of Passive and Daily, we stream every day, or at least try to get a show out. But streaming is 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. You know, that's 6 Mountain, right? Yeah, Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern. Anywhere else, you know, you can go check it out on Ecosia. For all of you and all of us, I'm A.O. Xander.
Golden Lou.
And you are you. Thank you so much for watching, and until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever it is,